It's time for transfer portal talk. It's time to talk about Walter Nolen. This is, by whatever website you want to look at, this is the best player in the transfer portal. This was the former number one recruit in the country. Plays defensive line. He could play defensive end. Specializes in the interior. He cut weight since he got on the campus at A&M. And every big school and their mom wants this guy. So, yeah, look, he had a real nice relationship with Elijah Robinson. He was very vocal about it. He said, look, if you have Elijah Robinson and you have the NIL, you're then you have me. You don't have Elijah Robinson. He asks for more NIL. They said no. At least that's the rumor. And we'll see what other coaches he's formed relationships with on these visits that he's on, and we'll see who's dumping the bag. This is a very good player. This is a game wrecker. He's very good.
Yeah, I mean, you saw in some of these games where he just took over at times, like a driver straight said, "No, we're getting on field right now," and he didn't. Obviously, you would want a little bit more consistency down to down. That would be my only gripe with him. But at the same time, he's only a sophomore. Like he's still, 20 years old. Like he's still figuring out, learning how to play the position. And obviously he was in a room that was pretty crowded as well with a bunch of other 5-star talent. And he was the standout in it. I thought. I mean, Malik Jackson played well. Fadil Diggs played well on the A&M roster, but to me, Walter Nolen, and it's showing right now in how many teams won him, the caliber of teams won him, that he is a freak, and he does live up to that expectation. He'll obviously be a top draft pick next year, I would assume. Yeah, he would be an immediate impact for any team right now. You could pluck him on any roster, and he would be a starter. He would be a freak of nature disruptor in that middle, and that's what everyone wants. Like those guys are hard to come by. You look at what Sweat's doing over at Texas right now. When he finally figured out in his 5th year there, like this is what Walter Nolen could be for your team, and you see how valuable that is. Stopping the run, getting interior pressure. Quarterbacks in college don't know what to do. Most quarterbacks don't know what to do with interior pressure. Like that totally messes up who they are. Their throwing windows, their plant foot, everything else like that. And obviously, those guys are very few and far between. And A&M's gonna miss him for sure. But they got talent there. But it's a shame. I mean, I know this was the guy that they wanted back, put a lot of resources in him as a freshman, and it paid out. But it's only for 2 years,
Yeah. So potential landing spots. I know he's visiting Oregon. I believe he's talking to Texas coaches. I believe Alabama's reached out to him as well. I know Tennessee's probably reached out to him, but also when he got hurt against Tennessee, he got booed off the field when he thought that his season was over. So I
way to go,
we'll
Tennessee
see.
fans. You just
Yeah,
ruined your
you
chances
kind
at
of just
getting
you actually
the
kind
top
of just
player in the portal.
yeah, you kind of ruined it. Now he's still got relationships with the coach there. He's from Tennessee, right? That was a big recruiting win, A&M versus Tennessee. Um, uh, well, I was gonna say Florida, but Sean Spencer's is now at A&M, and Walter Nolen's out. So I don't know. I mean, there's a couple other spots he can land to. I mean, I know LSU potentially. The original four that Oregon, Texas, Bama, Tennessee are my most likely. But who knows? And Ohio State could come in with a bag and snip him up.
USC. We saw what
USC
they did
could
with
come in.
Bear Alexander last year.
Alexander and Anthony Lucas, another former
A&M
Texas A&M
guy.
player, teammate of
By
Walter
the way,
Nolan's.
Walter Nolen and Bear Alexander, when playing well and having their act together, those guys would be disruptive. Holy cow. No matter who's
Yeah,
defense coordinator there, Alex Grinch can mess that up.
yeah. No, I agree. So, but yeah, as an A&M fan, what does this do to Texas A&M? Well, you lose Fadil Diggs, you lose McKinley Jackson, you lose Walter Nolen. That is three of your starting defensive linemen. You don't know. You speculate that maybe a Nye White dips his toe in the transfer portal with that relationship with Elijah Robinson. The, this was kind of the cornerstone piece that you were hoping to keep. You lose him now. Now your focus is you have to keep Shamar Turner in the building if you're A&M. You have to. You need to, because as deep as you think that defensive line is, it just got a lot thinner. It just got a lot
Yeah,
thinner. So,
keep DJ Hicks, right? He was a big 5-star recruit a year ago. Keep McKinley Jackson. I know he's not McKinley J. Yeah, the
McKinley
5-star
Jackson.
freshman,
Oh, Dominique McKinley.
Dominic McKinley. Thank you. I know he's officially visiting this week again or to A&M, which is nice for them to keep him on board if they can. But yeah, you're gonna have some young players playing, probably a lot of talent leaving the building. Where would you like? And that was a strength of your team, right? Your defense, like DJ Durkin, like this was a good defense in spite of DJ Durkin, in my opinion, in your opinion as well, because of that D line, because of how disruptive they were on third downs, because of Ed Cooper, right? Like that, it's a lot. It's not just that you lose Walter Nolen; it's that you also lose McKinley Jackson. You mentioned Phil Diggs, LT Overton, potentially Anaya White, and some others. But yeah, where would you like in take your A&M hat off, right? Like where would you like to see him be in terms of where would he thrive as a person, as a player, and who could he like? Okay, this team was Walter Nolen away from being a college football playoff contender or champion.
Oregon.
Yeah.
I would like to see him out of the SEC personally.
Oh, come on, come on.
But also like I don't know, you get a couple more interior pressures on that defensive line where you got a pretty good defensive line, but it seemed like Washington's offensive line held up well in both of those games. And he's also great in the run, in stopping the run. Maybe you shut down Dylan Johnson a couple of those runs. I think he could have made a huge difference in that game against Washington. So definitely probably if I was rooting for the guy, well, I mean, I am rooting for the guy. I hope he ends up in a spot where he's successful. But for me personally, as an A&M fan, I hope he lands somewhere not in the SEC because I think he is that good. But
That's
wish
how
him
you
well.
know. That's how you know the caliber he is. Like nobody wants him in their conference. If he's not on your team,
No,
you do not want to see him on your schedule because, like we mentioned earlier, like he can take over a game or a drive and influence. Like he's that kind of positional player, defensive player. Not many of those guys come around where, hey, like you have to circle him on every play, and like he could genuinely take over a football game and be the difference in winning and losing it in a high level football game. Yeah, I'm surprised that Georgia hasn't been a bigger player there, especially because you look at like Oregon. Yes, they lost, they didn't make the college football playoff, but now what you can do is you could put all attention on this transfer portal class and finishing out this recruiting class. And they've been linked to a lot of high level football players in the transfer portal. Obviously, NIL helps. Obviously, Dan Lanning helps. Obviously, the success of the program helps, but also like they don't have to full prep, really. I mean, they don't have to college football playoff prep. Is that what I'm really getting at? Them in Georgia, yes, like your consolation prize is you're not in the championship playoff, but you can really gear up and make a run at it next year when you're in the Big Ten.
absolutely. Hey guys, MD here. Just here to invite you to the Redshirt Sophomore College Football Bowl pool. The link to join will be in the description down below. The winner, what do they get? A chance to be a guest on the Redshirt Sophomore podcast, of course. But to qualify for that, you got to make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. So make sure you click that subscribe button down below. When you sign up, all you got to do is just pick a team, right? See here in Miami, Ohio versus App State. This example selected Miami, and they have 12 confidence points on it. You're going to rate these games 1 to 43, and it's going to be a blast. I can't wait to have you guys on. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Thank you.